Hey, hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, I hope that quality is good. So I would suggest that we start straight ahead. We have companies from the U.S., Germany, Czechia, Great Britain, and France, and we have a very good mix of attendees like investors. Companies in the areas of electronics and electrical systems, in the areas of automotive and energy, and ultimately IT enterprise security. So thank you very much to everyone for joining. We have also one company in the area of augmented reality. Similarly, we had a similar mix of attendees in the Mobile World Congress. So let's start with the session, and of course we are open for questions and answers at the end if you have any further comment or want to share any insight, provided you have attended to the Mobile World Congress. So if we go to our first slide intergroup, we are focusing our activities on intelligent innovation. We help companies developing competitive portfolios, and we do that with two types of activities. One is improving the portfolio innovation, where we help with the ideation or the strategy on those products or solutions, and the second is our growth services, where we support companies on going to market and actually penetrating also some geographies. On the next slide, you see companies which have interested us on these endeavors in different sectors. And I'd like to start straight away with the trends that we have recognized from the Mobile World Congress. So this picture, there has never been a better time to transform the business, comes from the Cisco booth. That has been not the same sentence, of course, but it's all about tomorrow never waits. It's about transforming. It's about the new day today. So the industry of the Mobile World Congress, which was typically mobile operators and network systems, sees the need to transform and to embrace other industries and other technologies on the digitalization. Most of these attendees, we have been attending in this conference the last 16 years. And most of them were not coming from the virtual reality area internet. So we were very curious about to see, are these focus that Mobile Congress is trying to cover, are they going to be covered compared to Consumer Electronics in Vegas, which took place in January this year? And we see some common trends. So we have put together what we believe it's a trend. So one of the mega trends, and it's the year of partnerships. We saw it very clear there. Partnerships meaning announcing partner programs and lab programs, which are not comprised with startups only, but really real intentions and real projects on collaboration with current existing suppliers of those companies and startups. And also in the areas of the M&A, if you consider that Qualcomm also acquires NXP, all the woods of NXP or Infineon or Overture, we're all looking for partners to develop intelligent embedded systems. So this is one example of Philips, the one we have specified here, but definitely in this industry there's going to be even more mergers and partnerships taking place. The second mega trend that we saw there, and actually to a quite a large extent, was automotive and the connected car. It was unusual because although there have been companies like AT&T and Ford and GM attending to the conference, it was more about infotainment or connectivity related to the object, car. And this year we have seen, alongside the story that we saw in the consumer electronics, really like connected car and the human car experience, also the driver monitoring, personalization topics were here visible. And we had this covered in many stands, whether it was Vodafone or it was Mercedes, which is again an outstanding presence in the show. Also Peugeot. We had interviews with them, and we also work in this industry. So we were having even companies like Renault and the head of the connected car visiting also the conference. These are all organizations which have very serious established internal organizations, not related to car development or to car innovation, but related to really autonomous connectivity topics and business models to it. So the car industry has done a very big step versus 1.5 years ago from the International Motor Show. And this is beyond the object, whether it is more spacey or not. There are very good organizations already established with very competent people also coming from the connectivity area, being built up by these manufacturers. That's really something that it will take place. This is going to be the biggest computer, if you want, that we will own. And it's going to be really like connected and offering us a much more experience than what we are used to as a drivers, but more like experience. The next megatrend was artificial intelligence. This is a very difficult topic because what is it actually? Artificial intelligence is a personal assistant. Part of artificial intelligence is a robot. So there have been a lot of questions raised by large companies, including Huawei, about the need of a much better definition of what actually artificial intelligence are not. So definitely what is interesting to look here probably were the SK Telecom's innovations and innovations of services about predicting situations around the communication of a family, for example. This is an example we have shown here. Again, we wanted to differentiate what is it artificial intelligence from having data analytics of a network or having very smart automated systems, like in the connected car, for example. The digital assistants, definitely it's a continuation. It was a very strong mega trend in the consumer electronics. Similarly here, voice. All these fantastic technologies are not to be used with an app because it's using the voice, the capability of using voice and having information in a very high quality. It gives us another other quality of using these devices. We also see other type of wearables related to communication, like the Xperia Ear from Sony, and of course the Nokia Mikas, which is trying to reproduce also the boat. These are all topics are quite well documented. Digital systems are a must in combination of all these new technologies. And the megatrend number 5, I think maybe it's the most basic, but the most clear also to understand. We have been spent the last decade. It was all about smartphones. It was all about the innovation of course, of Apple, but also of the app stores, of the possibilities there, the video capabilities that we were having, the batteries, the performance of these devices. But there is a limitation on a smartphone as such. How to add more functionality to a smartphone is quite difficult. So we think that there's going to be a numerous parts of devices or wearables or portables, connectors, if you want to call it like that, which is going to be spread across the segments. For example, in the industrial part, we are seeing VR devices, augmented devices with very ruggedized and industrial specialized smart glasses type of thing. We have a lot of wearables on the medtech area, like Within Technologies or Be Well Connect or many others, but not as a development of one device. Now we move more to the decade of the network, which makes a lot of sense because what's the point of having a connected car if you don't have a good network and a performing network and a secure network? So that's going to be where the business models can take place, where security data and services can be assured and provided. So we see a lot of investment in new technologies, not only on the network side, but also low frequency, which we have had already the last 2 years. But actually, there's going to be a very high demand for security. Of course, security is not a mega trend in here because we did not see it. It was mentioned everywhere. We think actually security is the big missing mega trend equally in the Consumer Electronics and Mobile World Congress, because security is something that in the new systems should be already involved or should already be part of the design of the solution instead of having a solution and putting a security layer additionally to it. So there have been a lot of cybersecurity companies in the conference, but there was no big trend on what to use, how to use, and which could be the solution, the security network. So to summarize, the influence is really shifting from the device to the network because we are shifting from objects to business models. Another megatrend, the virtual and augmented reality. This was something very, very commented by several different people, saying the devices are not there yet. So we think still these Google, is the HoloSense, is all the devices are not still there yet, but the software quality, the experience of virtual reality, it has improved so much from last year. So indeed, the applications are much better. It makes the ideation on when to use these, in which scenarios, or either for training, for others, has improved as well. You can see here the fruit of the cooperation with industrial segments and the technology. So even if you still see these very big devices in front of our eyes, the software was really worth trying, and it has improved. Parallel to this, the megatrend 360 degrees imaging. This is something that many players embraced and allows to create a lot of new services, either on the healthcare area or several. So it was something where we had discussions with investors together with the connected car. The 360 degrees imaging was something fairly new in the exhibition, which was very welcomed as an additional business model enabler, if you want. Another business model maybe the drones. The drones as support devices. I think Mercedes did that very successfully, show the car van case in the Consumer Electronics. They were showing that also in Mobile World Congress, where the drones could be part of transportation and field service operations. So this is where specific cases which are a little bit closer to some of the industries. Another mega trend here, which is not so obvious because many of the players talk about business software solution transformation, but it's the omni-channel solution. So there are a lot of multi-channel and omni-channel media distribution and marketing, which are becoming very important for the satisfaction and the perception of by customers of marketplaces. And this is something which has been increasingly important, especially because of the amount of different devices and the amount of different service and locations that any retail store or telco store has to manage. So all the tools of engagement for the omni-channel experience, this is a trend which is maybe not so fancy as having some fantastic glasses or software, but definitely a need in the industry. And we see that also a lot of acquisitions as well as companies losing their business. Because it's not about the system, it's about software layers which can make this experience much, much better for the customer and also for the operators to manage those assets. And the last one, we looked also at the megatrend related to healthcare. Of course, in the consumer electronics in Vegas, we had only France had 300 innovative companies there. Here in Barcelona, it was everything about connected telemedicine. So it was less innovative in the sense of business models, but still connected telemedicine, and that was the topic. And the companies were companies like Withings, Be Well Connect, or companies like AMA with offering the smart glass package for emergency services. These are some of the examples that we saw there, and yeah, it was mainly telemedicine. Having said that, the sky is the limit. This is also one of these slogans of the Mobile World Congress. As a matter of fact, it was not an easy exhibition to look at, because many of the participants there, like automotive industry, I mean, some of them were represented, some of them were not visible. So you had the mobile operators presenting more or less similar ways of doing business as they would used to present, with new portfolios, and these new topics were covered by them as well. But you had also a big operators like Nokia, for example, who bought Withings Technologies, and they have a zero channel into the healthcare industry. And they were saying, we are going to white label all the devices into Nokia and Office systems, and we will go into that system and try to run and support our customers more on operating the network as well. So this has been what has been going on, what we have been able to grasp in our humble perspective from the Mobile World Congress. Is there any question, remark, or a topic you want to share with the rest of the group? All right. Nikki, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So in that case,
Same.
if there is any question or anything, yeah, feel free to share or send us an email call. That we hope that we were able to share a little bit these insights. And if you are interested in more detailed questions, definitely we have much more insight knowledge also about companies and all the impressions we had, which we would not call trends, but still are part of our experience.
Montserrat, actually, I have a quick question. This is Jörg Novak. I just had to unmute.
All right.
Sorry, it took some.
Yeah.
So you talk about megatrends. Megatrends should be really big transformational shifts that also materialize over quite a significant period of time. So this Mobile World Congress will again happen next year and the year after. So of the 10 things that you have presented here, which ones are already a kind of a continuation of what previous editions have highlighted, and which ones would you expect to kind of to feature again the most strongly next year or next 2 editions of the Mobile World Congress? So which ones are really here to stay and the most kind of core to all these transformational trends that of course interact with each other? So little judgment from your side, what would it be?
So let's go step by step. So concerning the industry, mobile network operators, there's going to be some transformation, but we don't see them really driving this transformation. What is really going to transform a lot is the older industry supplying those network operators. There are going to be services taking place, and definitely the partnership, the really project-driven partnerships is going to be a trend which is to be continued, because the competencies gap is there. So we expect that dominant ecosystems are going to be created with some of the key players in this industry. That's definitely going to continue. If I go, of course, to the, and that's new. Partnerships in the past, of course, strategic partnerships has always taken place. But here, the partnerships take place because you have competency gaps and you are looking for new ways of collaboration, and you are fighting for a value chain if you want a position. Concerning the connected car, this has been something already for the last 2 editions, but it was really decent, only infotainment I mentioned it. And since the CES, it's the car industry and not the connecting industry, which is leading. So the car industry is leading with the connecting technology, and they are attending to the show, which is new to them. That's definitely going to continue because the network it's really required. Concerning artificial intelligence, I think we will see there a lot. We did not see this at all last edition, and I think that it is also still very weak how has been presented so far, and it was also a very different opinion depending on whom you were talking about what artificial intelligence actually is. Interestingly enough, companies like IDC or others were also not mentioning this topic very clearly. It was one of the topics to consider, but it's going to be defined in the future. Concerning digital assistants, this will change. What is new is voice. The Amazon Echo has really managed to show that with this operating system, we can easily operate things or TVs or homes in a very good way, and that people accept it. So this is in the future. Next year is not going to be a column. It's going to be this type of voice command and voice management of solutions is going to be spread to all other wearables. So the digital assistants will be different and will be everywhere. The MegaTrend with the far away from the smartphone and focus on the network is new in a way, because it's very clear that the end game you don't win with devices or with wearables, but with services and systems which have to be empowered by a performing, secure network, whether it is mobile or whether it is indoor low frequency. That's going to be the topic. Virtual reality, I would say, is similar, just quality is better. So probably we will need to see really proper things there. The cameras is new. That's really new. The quality is absolutely new. And of course, we think that omni-channel solutions and solution has been a pain the last years already. So there was marginal innovation in this. And now we see that tiny companies engaged in this omni-channel area are getting a lot of attention, are being acquired, and companies which have been BSS providers are getting trouble. So I think that here the trend now is more visible. We saw it last year already, but this is clearly visible. That's, I hope that answered a little bit your question.
Yes, thank you for the perspective. We'll see what's going to be highlighted next year, but I'm sure it's going to be in a continuity of those topics.
This again, Mobile World Congress, you who do not know this exhibition, this is really a connectivity mobile network exhibition. Very, very interesting was the consumer electronics trends. We could also send those to you. And it's going to be interesting also to see the Hannover Messe, which is going to be real, because the interesting thing about these two I just mentioned is the verticality. And we think that the Mobile World Congress is going to be more and more verticalized. Now they are just starting to be. So we think that the attendees of this exhibition is still mingled and it's not sorted yet. The Hannover Industrial exhibition is going to be very interesting because we have very strong health topics. We have which are going to be shown there. We have very strong operational data analytics topics by companies from Hitachi, which are going to be presented there, and companies like Smart Manufacturing. But not only these big ones. And for example, Hitachi has never been that promoted there. It was more like ABB and Siemens. But there are a lot of some new players which are going to show quite an interesting case as well. And we will have again the automated and Internet of Things is going to be there for sure, industrial wearables, and probably also related to smart cities. So we look forward to participate on that one as well. Is there any other question? All right, then thanks so much for joining. We like to do this. We like the exchange. And yeah, we are here anytime. It's our humble opinion and perception. And I hope that it could, one or two things could inspire you there. And if you have questions, it's well-founded and argumented, so just reach out. We are happy to clarify and give you more insights about our perspective. Thanks. Have a very good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.